poster hangs outside Garden of Prayer World Prayer Center with an image of Senior Pastor Brian Jackson. The North Philadelphia church's leader has since been charged with sexual exploitation and abuse of children, conspiracy, and corruption of minors. Jackson and a second pastor, Isaiah Banks of Second Pilgrim Baptist Church, who's facing similar child sex abuse charges, are both accused of soliciting sexually explicit videos of minors in exchange for money or food.
Mr. Banks groomed more than one minor in the community to produce child pornography and then provided that pornography to Mr. Jackson, who also directly communicated with these children for the purpose of getting more videos and photos.
Prosecutors say Banks recently resigned from his role at the church in a hurry. A woman who answered the church phone had no comment. No one answered at Jackson's house of worship. Arrest papers allege the two pastors texted and messaged back and forth about soliciting images of child pornography as far back as 2024. Jackson is accused of posing as a female in text messages to obtain photos and videos from his accuser. Prosecutors said about there being possibly more victims.
There is more than one, but this is a very active investigation, and it will become clear, I would say, in the next couple of months, how many more than one.
Welcome to this segment of Get to Steppin', sponsored by Euphoria Water. This is where we step it up a notch and we discuss a topic. Oh, you down with GOP? Not me. And if GOP stands for Garden of Prayer, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, we have just dealt with two pastors being charged with SA of minors, trafficking of minors, soliciting CP, cheese pizza, all of that. Here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Why? Why? Okay. Brian
Jackson
of Garden of Prayer is being charged with that, as well as Isaiah Banks of Second Pilgrim Baptist Church here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. See, I don't like PDF files. I don't. I simply abhor them, okay? I don't like PDF files. And the fact that sometimes they get convicted, well, most of the time when they get convicted, we're like, yay, yoo-hoo. They're going to go to jail for a very long time. And then they get sentenced. And then the sentence be like 2 or 3 years. How is that any type of punishment for PDF files? Because meanwhile, the children are traumatized for the rest of their lives, while these men, if we can even call them that, go on to live their lives. They be in prison for like 3 years and they get right on out. Or if they're good little boys in prison, they can get out a little earlier. Go on what they call parole. And they might be sentenced 3 years and then have 10 years probation. Ooh, whoop-de-doo. And if you violate the probation, you have to do this many years. It's so many times I've watched Mandu's channel, shout out to Mandu, and I've watched parole hearings. And when I hear the crimes they are charged with, and then the sentences that they receive, my blood boils, okay? It's been times that they could get sentences of 20 years. 20 years. And then they say, oh, but we're gonna do 15 years suspended. 15 years suspended. What's up, Mario? 15 years suspended, and then they get 5 years in prison and they get 10 years probation. What? But if they violate their probation, they have to do the entire 20 years. What? Like, they believe so much that rehabilitation can happen for these PDF files. But let somebody go to jail for not human trafficking, but drug trafficking, oh my gosh, they have to be in there for the rest of their lives. They have to do life in prison. When they go up for parole, oh, it's iffy because we don't know. Should we really let you back out in society? You're trafficking drugs. You know, like, anyway, you have two pastors. And listen, I did a whole thing about pastors at the beginning of this year. January hit, I did a whole series about pastors and how they are not holier than thou. They are human, just like the rest of us. And they always say, well, they fall short of the glory of God, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, dude, you're a pedophile. Of course, you're a pastor. Because who is trusted the most? Who is given reign over our kids besides us? People trust pastors. People trust teachers. People trust, I don't know, doctors. And how many times have we seen so many of these people in these professions going down for being pedophiles? So many times. Too many times to count. And one too many times, in my opinion. I think that they should be charged and punished. Like, really get jail time, really get prison time this time. Like, not sit there and be like, oh, let them do like 5 years and 10 years probation. No, really give them prison time. And you know what infuriates me is that it was two black men. And this is why it infuriates me even more. Because not only did they solicit cheese pizza from young girls, they also solicited cheese pizza from little boys too. Actually, the victim that came forth was a male victim. And the sad thing about that, when it comes to male victims, a lot of times people don't believe them. They like, oh, you're just making up stuff in your head. That can't possibly be. When it's a pastor, even more so, people are like, oh no, not my pastor doing that type of stuff. Surprisingly, when they contacted the church for comment, you know, I think Second Pilgrim Baptist Church, they released a statement. But the other church was like, we had no comment. And then, you know, another sad thing about this is that it started off with Isaiah Banks first. That's what they're saying. They're saying that it started with him first. He was getting cheese pizza from this young man. And then he turns around. I'm sorry, guys. Then he turns around and he shares the cheese pizza with Brian
Jackson
of Garden of Prayer Church. And then Brian turns around and starts communicating with this young man to get more cheese pizza from him. But he wasn't chatting with him as himself. He was chatting with him as a young lady. So, you catfishing too? You catfishing to get cheese pizza? That's what we doing? I don't know how many times they've been in direct contact with children. They said that they're looking for more victims to come forth. And the thing about it is that sometimes victims, they be so embarrassed that they even let themselves be put in that position that they don't want to come forward, or they are intimidated by the dangers of coming forward, or a family member of theirs tells them, listen, did he actually touch you? Did he actually put his hands on you? If not, if he just got images from you, let's just let it go. No, absolutely not. It's so many, and then some parents, if we can even call them that, they are so wrapped up around the pastor's finger. There's probably been no, I'm not gonna say that because I want to put this on YouTube. But they're so wrapped around his finger that they're like, oh, not my pastor. You can't possibly be telling the truth. You can't possibly. Oh yes, I see that. I see the text messages, but how do I know that this is from my pastor? How do I know that this is like, they'll start questioning the victim so much that the victim be like, you know what, never mind. I don't even want to say anything anymore because you don't believe me. And there's a lot of times when that's the case. Especially in our churches, unfortunately, a lot of times people just like to sweep things under the rug because image is more important than getting justice for the babies, okay? So we had that happen. Oh, but let's not just say Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Now, this is getting a lot of press. This story is getting a lot of press. But guess what? Down in Tennessee, there, I think it's called, I don't even think, it's Montgomery County, Tennessee, or something like that. But in Tennessee, wouldn't you know it? A superintendent's husband, who is a teacher, showed provocative images to a student in his class. His name is Michael Vedder, V-E-D-D-E-R. Michael Vader, whatever. Let's put his name out there too. White man. Okay. He showed provocative images of himself to a young lady in his class. And his wife is the superintendent of schools down here. So, when the young lady was doing a press conference and she was talking about how he showed images to her and how, it really made her feel away. Mind you, she's doing a press conference. It was somebody in the audience being disruptive while she was saying her piece. Are you trying to intimidate this young lady from telling the truth? Whether you believe it's true or not, let her speak her piece. Because at the end of the day, if he is innocent, it can be proven he is innocent in the court of law. So, why are you attacking the victim? And this is what I'm talking about, man. Nobody is protecting the babies. Nobody's protecting the babies. I'll tell y'all a real quick story and I'm head on out. It was one instance that really rubbed me the wrong way. I was taking my son to a specific school. It's now 9:33 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 78 degrees. I was taking my son to a specific school. He's only in kindergarten. And he had a coach who was a female coach. And she seemed very nice. But she said something that really bothered me. She said, oh, why is this like my little husband? What? But she said my son was like her little husband. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? I said, he's too young to be thinking about being married and having a wife. He's a kid. You shouldn't even be looking at my son that way. And she was like, oh, he's just so cute. And I said, I know my son is cute, but don't say nothing like that. And I immediately texted his dad and told him what she said. And he was like, oh yeah, that's unacceptable. This, that, and the third. Like, y'all gotta keep an eye on some of these women too. Cause they could be PDF files as well. It's not just men out here doing it. It's so many stories of, oh, this teacher ended up having an affair with this young boy. No. She SA'd that young man. He was too young to give consent. This was not a mutual thing. Even though he gave in, it doesn't mean that it was necessarily consensual because he is not old enough to consent. Miss me with that. Talk about some, oh, yeah, well, I wish the teacher was like that. Like, there's some men that's out there like, I wish it was a teacher like that when I was coming up in school. Oh man, I would have been, what? What? Is this for real? Why do y'all think like this? That is not good, not cool whatsoever. I did a whole episode. I had to calm myself down. Sorry. I get very passionate about this. Did a whole episode about that on Think Different TV. In the first season, I remember it was the 10th episode where I talked about female predators and male victims. And because it's not a topic discussed enough, because apparently it's a boy's rite of passage to be SA'd and groomed by an older woman. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. I think it's absolutely unacceptable. I know it's unacceptable. They know it's unacceptable, but they choose to do it. And they should be punished. Those women that take advantage of male students or any male that they're placed in authority over in any type of capacity, coach, doctor, teacher, whatever, they should be punished as well. Again, back to the pastors. People trusted y'all to be their leaders. I'm not saying this is why I don't go to church. I have my own personal reasons why I don't go. But it's one of those reasons that is kind of like, it really fuels that passion inside of me to be like, you know what, I'm just going to stay home and read the Bible and have my own church at home by myself. Just me. One Bible. One TV. That's it. Just me by myself. Because how can you expect someone to lead the congregation when they are battling demons themselves? How can they help you battle your demons when they're battling demons themselves? How? How is it possible? It's not. And as you can see, they couldn't battle their demons. They lost that battle. And now they're about to go straight to prison. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. Straight to prison. And they should stay there for a very long time. Stop giving them a slap on the wrist. Because obviously, the reason why there's so many people still doing it is because they know that if they get caught and they get charged, their punishment is not as severe as someone who's getting caught with drugs. They be like, I'd rather get caught in the car with my pants down with a little boy or a little girl than to be caught with some marijuana. Because I know that if I get caught with marijuana, I can go to jail for a very long time. But if I'm a PDF file, I'm only in there maybe for 2 years, 8 months, if I'm on good behavior. What kind of justice is there? The justice system need to get together. Because y'all are backwards. Okay? I understand. We want to take a bite out of crime. We want to take a bite out. We want to keep the drugs off the streets. We want to keep people drug free. Drug free is the way to be, right? But at the same time, I want our kids to go through life and not have to worry about someone else aiding them, soliciting them for cheese pizza. I don't want that to happen. Hey, Tyquan, I don't want that to happen. So, all I'm saying is, final thoughts. The pastors need to be charged. That teacher, Michael Vedder, Vedder, in Tennessee, Brian
Jackson,
and Isaiah Banks need to be charged. And they need to get punished to the furthest extent of the law. Okay? Right? No slap on the wrist. And in case y'all just joined in, Michael Vedder is a guy in Tennessee who is a teacher. His wife is the superintendent out there of the schools. And he decided to show provocative pictures to a student, a young female student. And she came forward and she let people know what was going on. I'm sure there are other victims. There's no way this is the first one y'all just get caught. You had to been doing this for a while. In fact, Isaiah Banks had been sending Brian Jackson, they have been sending cheese pizza between each other since as far back as 2024. So, there are more developments on this case. What are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments below. As for me, I done said my piece, and I'm out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.